It's Friday night, the 17th of April, and day 108 of pursuing my journey to alignment and living the dream. I finished recording Thursday's video journal entry early this morning, and that's because, like I said, I chose to do it this morning instead of last night. And now I'm doing today's video journal here tonight. After I finished my routine this morning, I ate my breakfast and came upstairs to finish typing up a few notes for yesterday's journal entry recording before recording it, which I did early this morning, like I said. And then I started to work on building out lesson 9. Right then, however, Kathleen asked me if I would be interested in having a picnic with her. Well, that could have been a tricky question to try to answer. If I would be interested, of course I was interested. So I always say that. I'm always interested, sweetheart. Anyway, I didn't take very long to answer her. I said absolutely, and said I would call into Subway's and order a couple of sandwiches for us, and then we could go and pick them up. We could then drive up into the mountains for our picnic. And she said that would be wonderful, and so that's what I did. After working on building out lesson 9 segments, I came downstairs and asked Kathleen what kind of sandwich she wanted. But then when I sat down by her, I decided to just hand her my phone and she could talk with the helper right there and get exactly what she wanted. She then handed me the phone and I ordered my sandwich and we were ready to go. So we jumped into the car and went up to Subway's to pick it up, and then we went up to the mountains and parked right on the edge there at almost the very top of the mountain, looking over the valley. It was so beautiful. And once we parked our car, we realized how chilly it was, and so we just sat in the car ourselves and watched out the windows and ate our sandwiches, had a great chat, and then we finished up. It was about an hour and a half, and then we decided to come back down to go back home. But before I did, I decided to go to Cutler's, which is a great sandwich shop that makes incredible homemade baked cookies, and so I picked up 2 of those, and then we went home. Once we got home, I sat down to have a glass of milk with my cookies, and Kathleen sat on our double-wide recliner and pulled out her laptop, and I sat down by her, and no more than 3 minutes went by, and she turned to me and said, I got something I want to show you that I found. I said, great, and she scooted over closer to me and opened up her laptop and turned it towards me so I could look at it, and she showed me a lovely credenza and said, this could be your credenza for your office. Apparently, she had been looking on KSL Classifieds with the goal of finding me a credenza that we could use for this office. She's known for some time now that I wanted to put one under my fun pictures behind me that you see here. I'm sure you noticed the changes as you started watching this video today. Let me continue with my story. When I looked at the picture she showed me, I really didn't like that particular credenza, and so for the next hour and a half, we looked at several credenzas, several pictures. We kept searching, and then we found one that we both really liked. I immediately put my phone and called on it to see if it was still available and asked the person if we could come and take a look at it. Well, the seller said we could, and so we immediately jumped in the car and drove into Salt Lake, which is about a half hour away, and up to near the foothills at the mountain base there. And sure enough, we loved it. We bought it and we brought it home. Now you have to understand, my wife's the type of woman and homemaker that cannot stand anything that looks dirty or unkempt. And so when we got home, and while I was asking my brother to come and help me lift the credenza up out of the car and up into the office, Kathleen got out some cleaning supplies and went up to my office and wiped down everything, wiped down my desk and everything all around where the credenza was going to go, including my windowsills, and then said, oh, hold off until I finish vacuuming the office. Oh my goodness. Once she was done, my brother and I lifted it into my office and set it down behind me like you see. It's right under my motivational pictures. I put some books between, I'm going to learn to show you there. I put some books between some bookends and a couple of pictures, and yes, I'm sure you've noticed and figured out that this project took the entire workday, and that's just fine with me. What a great find. I have to tell you, I'm so blessed that my wife is on my team. The fact that she's become a cheerleader. Anyway, I'm happy I got it all done. I love you, sweetheart, for your help. Now, because we spent most of yesterday and today now doing all of this, I was only able to get the first 2 lessons of my segments built out over those last 3 days. However, I'm still comfortable in saying that I spent the last 2 days living the dream. Don't you think so? I sure think so. Playing with Kathleen, going to picnics and having fun and getting this credenza together, that's what I call a terrific day. I know it seems a little weird to say that playing is living the dream when you probably should be, or I should say when I probably should be finishing lesson 9, but I believe that you have to have fun along the way, or you end up just working your life away, work, work, work. When you love what you're doing, however, and you're having fun doing it, that doesn't feel like work at all. That almost feels like playing all day long. So, I should also mention that after getting the credenza up and into the office, I made the decision and ordered 4 new legs for it so it can stand a little higher than it is right now. And so they should be here within 3 to 4 days, maybe by the end of the week, and I'll be able to change them out, which will make it stand a little taller than it is now, so you'll be able to see it when that happens. Croy then goes on to say, get honest with yourself. What didn't go well today, Marty? What could you have done better today? Did you wake up early and start strong? Check. Did you start your morning with power? Absolutely. Were you productive throughout your day? Well, yes and no. And you know why the production side of my video segments, not so much. But production in relationships and fun, my office, absolutely. Did you get the most important things done? I did today is what I chose to be important. Yes, I did. Did you move your goals forward? Did you show up as the person you wanted to be? Yes, on that one. And were you present with Kathleen with her personal time? I was present, so was she. Now combine all these questions together and ask one big question. Were you honest with yourself about today's task, Marty? In other words, did you keep your commitments you made to yourself today? Well, like I said, I did try to start building out the rest of Lesson 9's recorded segments this morning. That's what my power statement said, was to try. But as you heard, due to the spontaneity of a beautiful woman, I took a detour today. And so for the first time in the last 3 months, I'm going to go ahead and say no. But I love saying it, and I love the reason why. Anyway, the next thing Croy asked to ask myself is, what was the one thing out of all the things you did today, Marty, that you know you can improve on going forward? In other words, did you have or did you experience a failure today? And if so, was it something you can turn into a tool of success going forward? Well, as I reflect on the last couple of days, I think I have to say that each of us have to be able to enjoy being spontaneous. Of course, we have to be careful with it, especially if there are hard deadlines that you would be harmed by if you didn't get them done or didn't meet them. But because I'm the owner of my business and I look in the mirror and ask, what can I do, or tell myself what to do, and I'm the one putting all the deadlines on myself, and since I don't have any employees to worry about right now who are depending on me getting my part done, I don't risk losing my job or something like that. And so I chose to go with the flow and went with spontaneity. The next question is, what was your biggest success you had today, Marty? I think my biggest success today was to show my wife that I love her and that I love playing with her and I value her and want to be present with her when I'm with her and that I enjoy her spontaneity. That's it. That's my biggest success today. The next question Croy asks is, what's the one thing you did that made you feel successful today, Marty? I felt successful in the relationships area of my life and being balanced in life. I could have stayed forced and focused on getting myself going on those business goals and not break the strides that I've been making with all the endeavor of building out my coaching package, because I've really been clipping away. But I would risk finding myself a failure in my relationships if I didn't do this ever so often. The truth is, no dream would be fulfilling to me if I was constantly feeling disconnected from those I love, especially from the love of my youth, my wife Kathleen. We've all heard this before. No success can compensate for failure in our homes and in our marriages. No success can compensate if we fail in that area. The next question is, what movies did you watch in your mind today, Marty? Did you make time for them? I watched my 5 favorite movies, my Why movie, my Vision movie, my Let's Start Coaching movie, my Insights and More movie, and my Facebook Messenger group Living the Dream Mastermind movie. In addition to those favorites, I'm also having little movie clips, like I said, pop into mind throughout the day. It's so exciting. I often find myself daydreaming about coaching someone on a certain topic like fear of failure, or something like, I can't seem to get my spouse to support me in this business deal. I love coaching in my mind about those things. It's kind of pre-playing successful coaching. As I've said before, and I'll say it again, going to the movies is the way I set the table mentally so I can have a successful day of working strong, dreaming strong, and finishing strong. Going to the movies adds real power to my capacity to start the day strong and then to stay strong all day long and then ending my day strong. Going to the movies lets me answer the "Did you start strong?" question with a resounding yes. Yes, I did. Croy's next question for me was, rate your day. After thinking about that, I gave today a 5. I say 5 because I chose to work at the speed of 5, which was half the day this morning. But I played at doing that. I played at the speed of 10. I worked for 5 and I played at the speed of 10. The next question is, if this was the only thing you get done tomorrow, but you'd still feel like a success, what would that one thing be? And now put it into a power statement for tomorrow. Well, my power statement for tomorrow, I decided, was I'm going to finish building out lesson 9. I will finish building out lesson 9. Now, I chose to say I will this time because I'm confident I will get those segments built out and through the portal of my mind and into the world of the physical tomorrow. And I'm so excited about getting that lesson done. Okay, let's end the day strong. Here's what I'm grateful for today. First of all, I'm grateful for famous quotes. Over the years, I've read and collected a ton of quotes, lots of books in my library, made by a lot of famous people. For example, Maxwell Maltz, which is a famous surgeon you've probably heard about and read a book or two by him, he quoted and said, all our actions, feelings, behavior, and abilities are consistent with our self-image. Our self-image is our opinion of ourselves, end quote. Our self-image is our opinion of ourselves. All those old stories, if it's all bad and negative and I can't do this and I'm always sick or I'm a failure, that old story builds up and sets in motion your self-image, and that's the opinion you have of yourself. And therefore, you attract all that all the time, and it manifests in your life. And so, get rid of that old story. Get a new story of a new self-image, that you're successful, you're a man of compassion, or you're a woman of accomplishment, and get that opinion of yourself up high. That's what it's saying. Next, I'm grateful for the law of love. One of the most thrilling stories from any era of time is the old story from Grecian mythology of Pygmalion and Galatea. That's called Galatea, I guess you pronounce it. Pygmalion was a sculptor from Cyprus, and like all great artists, he loved his work. Then came the time when he was to create the masterpiece of his life. In deathless ivory, he would carve the statue of a beautiful woman and show human form and personality at its best. Pygmalion worked devotedly and untiringly week after week after week until the work was finally finished. So great was the effort and devotion, skill and love that Pygmalion lavished upon his work that the gods ordained that the statue should have the power to breathe and move. As she stepped down off the pedestal, Pygmalion called her Galatea, and then Pygmalion married his work. The story of Pygmalion can be the story of every person. For the work, every person who falls in love with his work or her work shall live. Robert Southwell said, "Not where I breathe, but where I love, I live." It is the motive power that makes everything go. It is what keeps a person on the job when he might or she might otherwise be discouraged and worn out. Love sweetens the most ordinary enterprise. Lastly, I'm grateful for the principle of problem solving. A professor of psychology named Robert Seashore said, "Successful people are not without their problems. They're simply people who've learned how to solve their problems." Okay, there you go. Another day of living the dream. I promise I'll be back here tomorrow night, that Saturday night, at this same computer, sharing my soul with you and how my journey to alignment went as I work and grow and move on down the living the dream pathway. Until then, I wish you continued success. Good night.